So in this video, we're going to learn about the distribution of the mean and the central limit theorem. So the sampling distribution of the mean is the distribution of the means of all possible samples of a fixed size n from some population. So the standard deviation of the sampling distribution is called the standard error of the mean. And to find that, you take sigma and you divide it by the square root of n. So let's start with the sample of numbers right here and find sigma. So in order to do this, we do the equal sign, and then we find the standard deviation of the sample and highlight all our numbers. And we get 13.49. So then we'll go over here and find the standard error of the mean for these varying sample sizes. So we'll start with 10, the sample size, and we'll use this equation right here, the standard error of the mean, to take sigma and divide it by the square root SQRT of 10, and we get 4.26. Now we'll do the same thing but with a sample size of 25. Take sigma divided by the square root of your sample size, and you get 2.69. Now we'll do it again but with 100. And we get 1.34. And now we'll do it again one last time with 500. So take the sigma and divide it by the square root SQRT of your sample size 500. So as you can see from these numbers here, as the sample size increases, your standard error of the mean is going to decrease. So I inserted this picture right here to kind of visualize it. So the distribution of the sample mean when n equals 2 in this case scenario is very spread out and wide. And the mean is still 16, but you have a lot of outliers on the outside. But when the distribution of the sample mean is larger at 10, you can see the distribution is much more gathered towards this mean and has a lot less data outside. So this also has to do with the central limit theorem that states if the sample size is large enough, then the sampling distribution of the mean is normally distributed regardless of the distribution of the population and has a mean equal to the population mean. So when you have larger sample sizes, you'll have more accurate data that more closely resembles the population as a whole rather than just the sample. So that is the sampling distribution of the mean, how to find standard error, and the significance behind the standard error when the sample size changes.